Oh, blue jeans. They are spectacular for look and for everyday comfort, but they are not so spectacular in a motorcycle crash. So, since I started riding, I have always been wondering how can I have the casual feeling of just wearing my favorite pair of jeans with the protection of a real motorcycle pant. And I think I have finally discovered the solution, and that is protective underlayers like this, the Pando Moto Skin AAA Leggings. So let me get into why I wear these all the time now. So the struggle with most motorcycle gear, and this goes even for motorcycle jeans, is they're usually too stuffy to wear in normal life. You I had a pair of street and steel motorcycle jeans in the US, and they were decent standing up and walking around, but when I sat down, the armor is pinching into my knees and they're really hot and really thick because they're weaved with Kevlar. So I just didn't want to wear them normally. Whereas this pair of jeans, yeah, it's paper when I crash, but they're super comfortable and super casual. So when Pando Moto reached out to me and said, "Hey, we want you to try these leggings and see what you think," I jumped at the chance because basically what Pando is offering is a very lightweight but protective pant that can fit underneath any other pair of pants, like these jeans, my favorite jeans, or these hiking pants, which are like quite literally paper thin. I would not want to crash in these. But if I'm wearing Pando underneath, I get CE AAA rated abrasion protection, which is good for a slide of 75 miles an hour on the highway. So you get a lot of protection in these. Let me just go through a few features. So basically what you're getting is something like a yoga pant. You get armor in the knees that is SASTEC CE level 2 armor and at the hips. So you get that armor as well as the protective material all the way throughout. You also get these zippers here, which I'll show a close-up of, that allow you to very easily slip into the pants and then zip them down to lock them in place. And I found that they sit really well on my body. And then on the inside, you're going to get this much thinner and weaker material, which I'll get to my gripes about this later, on the inside of the legs where you're least likely to crash. So like I said, I'll talk about that later because it's one of my gripes with this pair. But overall, extremely comfortable. So like I said, this is CE AAA rated, so it'll slide at 70, 75 miles an hour on the highway and it won't rip. This is made of what's called Ballistex fiber, which Pando has more information about that. Apparently 15 times stronger than steel. Thankfully, I have not had the opportunity to crash in it yet. But if I pull it apart and put a light behind there, I'll show a close-up of this, you can see straight through it. So there's a ton of airflow going through when you ride in them. And that goes for the armor as well. I'll show a close-up of the armor, but the armor's got holes in it. It allows a lot of airflow through. So you get that protection with, instead of like a leather race pant where you don't have any breathability and it's only really good while you're on the bike, these you can wear all day. And trust me, I have worn them all day. So I've done multi-day tours in these where we're doing more than just riding. We're maybe riding 3-4 hours a day, but for another 3-4 hours, we're hiking, we're walking around, we're eating, going to coffee shops, doing a lot of different things. And I just leave these on underneath whatever pants I'm wearing. And I have actually forgotten that I'm wearing them before. One pro tip I have, one thing I've noticed is that some of these seams, especially when you're doing long hours on the bike and your knees are tucked in, the seams start to irritate the underside of my knees. But I started wearing these really thin, like runners underwear, basically, like runners leggings that are not only cooling, but they just provide a little space between me and these. And that has completely eliminated any pinch points, any rubbing, and I can actually wear these all day long in heat or in cold without really noticing that I'm wearing motorcycle pants, which is just insane. It's worth mentioning I have put these through the ringer here in Thailand. So I've worn these in Japan where it is cold in the winter, and then I've also worn these in Thailand where it is over 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and 90 to 100% humidity, and they are comfortable. Like I said, with this layered on top, layering the Pando on top, and then wearing, say, a really thin pant that flows tons of air, I barely notice that I'm wearing anything other than just these pants. They really don't hold heat in, and when you ride, the air just goes right through this material. So again, if you're somewhere cold, then you can wear, like, say, a thick pair of jeans that you really like that keep out the cold and keep out the wind, and then wear this underneath. You'll have the same protection as you would get with a really thin pant, with a really thick pant. You have that same protection underneath. Then you can have the choice of layering what you need to layer over that for the weather that you're riding in, whether that's rain pants, thick warm pants, or really thin pants for hot and humid environments. So I've been riding these regularly for about 3 months, and I've taken them through a lot of really humid, really hot, sunny environments. And I have to say the material has held up insanely well. So there's no deformation, like over the knees here. Sometimes you get leggings that really stretch out a lot. These don't stretch out. So maybe they will after a year of use or a longer amount of use. But so far I found these have held up really well. And I've probably washed this pair 6 or 7 times now, and I can barely tell that it's been washed. I mean, obviously it smells better, but I can barely tell as far as wear and tear. It doesn't really wear in the wash or from usage. Again, that could change as I use it over a longer period of time, like the Botex that I'll talk about later. So I should say problems. Like I said earlier, this inner material that's on the inside of the legs is a lot thinner than the outer material, and it is not rated CE AAA. So overall, the garment is rated CE AAA, but Pando really stuck to how CE outlines that guideline. And essentially what they say is they highlight these hotspot zones where you are most likely to slide on asphalt and to put a lot of weight on that slide. And that's places like the knees, the hips, the outside of the legs. So all that area needs to withstand that slide at 75 miles an hour. But these inner areas, because they are less likely to slide, they don't need to have that same abrasion protection. So Pando put a lighter material on here, which is a lot more breathable, but also just doesn't give me the confidence that, say, like this other pair that I have tried out from Botex, these are completely Dyneema all the way around. So they use a very strong material all the way around in every place on this garment. This is an older set of Botex's AAA Elite leggings. I need to try their newer set to really apples to apples compare them to the Pando set. So are these worth the investment? They're not cheap. I'm pretty sure these retail for around $400. So yes, you're making an investment. That said, road rash down your entire leg sounds pretty expensive and pretty painful, and that's what these are designed to insure against and provide some protection against. So if you're looking for something that's more flexible, I'll just give you my daily riding experience. So I ride a motorcycle every single day here in Thailand, just commuting around, going to lunch, doing errands. And I used to just wear shorts or jeans on the bike. I know, not good for ATGATT for all you guys that are going to yell at me in the comments, but it's hot as hell here. Like I said, I'm using it as my daily rider to get around. I don't own a car. So this has really changed how I ride because I can wear these without being uncomfortable. So I will actually wear these on a ride out to dinner, sit at dinner for 2-3 hours with friends and ride back. Because they are so comfortable, I can wear them underneath something else. I can still have a casual feel and casual comfort with the protection of a real motorcycle pant. So if you're doing a lot of city riding, a lot of commuting, again, these are not going to be good for a track environment. But if you are just riding around at slower speeds or even on the highway, because these are CE AAA rated, this might be a good option for you. I've found that it's actually helped me wear protective gear in situations where I normally wouldn't wear it. So that's a huge, huge win for safety. Plus, if you pair them with a matching undershirt, like I have the Botex Elite shirt here that I've been wearing around, then you get that same protection and benefit on the upper body. I still need to test Pando's Commando UH AAA, which is their version of the shirt, but I'll put the links to these leggings and that shirt in the description below. So check that out if you're interested in these. Peace.